It was a cold, foggy evening in the small town of Blackwood. The streets were empty, and the only sound was the distant hoot of an owl. Detective James Carter, a tall man with sharp eyes and a keen mind, was sitting in his cozy office, sipping on a cup of tea. The clock struck 10 p.m. when there was a loud knock on the door. A young man, trembling and pale, entered the room. His name was Thomas, and he worked as the caretaker of the Blackwood Cemetery. "Detective, you must help me. Something terrible has happened," he exclaimed. Detective Carter leaned forward. "Calm down, Thomas. Tell me everything." Thomas took a deep breath. "Every night, I lock the cemetery gate at 8 p.m. sharp. But tonight, when I went to check the gate, it was wide open. And I saw footprints leading inside. I followed them, and, oh, it was horrible." "What did you see?" asked the detective, his curiosity piqued. "I saw a freshly dug grave, detective, but it wasn't there yesterday. And next to it, I found this." Thomas handed over a small rusty key. Detective Carter examined the key carefully. It was old, with strange markings on it. "Did you see anyone around?" he asked. Thomas shook his head. "No, but I heard whispers. Like someone was talking in the shadows. I ran as fast as I could to find you." The detective stood up. "Let's go to the cemetery. I need to see this for myself." The cemetery was eerily quiet, with the fog making it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. The gate, as Thomas had said, was wide open. The footprints were still visible in the damp soil, leading deeper into the cemetery. Detective Carter followed the footprints, with Thomas close behind. They stopped at a freshly dug grave. The soil was loose, and the grave looked shallow. Next to it was a small, ancient-looking box, half buried in the dirt. The detective knelt down and used the rusty key Thomas had found. It fit perfectly into the lock on the box. Inside, there was a folded piece of paper and a small golden locket. The paper had a riddle written on it. "Where the old oak stands, beneath the moon's light, seek the shadow that hides from sight. What was lost shall soon be found. When the clock strikes 12, the secret is unbound." Detective Carter frowned. "This is a clue. Someone is playing a game with us." Thomas looked around nervously. "What does it mean, detective?" "The old oak tree," Carter said. "There's one near the back of the cemetery. Let's go." The old oak tree was massive, its branches stretching out like skeletal fingers. The detective searched the ground carefully. Beneath the tree, he noticed a patch of soil that looked disturbed. He dug into it and found another box. This one contained a map of the cemetery, with a specific spot marked with an X. The marked spot was near the cemetery's oldest section, where the town's founders were buried. When they reached the spot, they found a large flat stone with an inscription, "Here lies the truth, hidden in time." Detective Carter and Thomas lifted the stone. Beneath it was a hidden compartment containing a journal. The journal belonged to a man named Edward Blackwood, the town's founder. It detailed a hidden treasure buried somewhere in the cemetery, along with a warning, "Only the worthy shall find it." As the clock struck midnight, the detective noticed something glinting in the moonlight. It was a small golden key, hidden in the roots of a nearby tree. Using the key, they unlocked a hidden door in the cemetery wall. Inside, they found a chest filled with gold coins and precious gems. The mystery was solved. The open gate, the footprints, and the clues were all part of a clever plan to lead someone to the treasure. But who had set it up? Detective Carter soon discovered that Thomas's grandfather had been Edward Blackwood's close friend. Before passing away, he had left the clues for his family to find the treasure. Thomas, unaware of the plan, had stumbled upon it by chance. The treasure was handed over to the town, and Thomas was hailed as a hero. As for Detective Carter, he returned to his office, satisfied with another mystery solved. But as he sat down with his cup of tea, he couldn't help but wonder, What other secrets lay hidden in the shadows of Blackwood?